Yeah, fellow Nigerians, this is your fellow citizen OVA. I'm grateful to God for the power of the web, for the internet. I mean, because you can be able to pass a message, an important message, in a very short time, and it goes around the world. I mean, in a very short time. So thank God for an opportunity like this, really. Now, having said that, I need to share a thought with us regarding Nigerian politicians, especially those of the Niger Delta origin, those of the Niger Delta extraction. We need to sound some information in their ears because, whilst on one hand it's easy for us to say yes, which is actually the truth, the Niger Delta region is the goose that lays the golden egg. We feed the nation, whether anybody likes it or not. That is what it is. Nigeria is strictly an oil dependent state. What they do is they get the oil money and then share it amongst the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. So no matter what you say, it doesn't change what is on ground until somebody changes it. For now, it is what it is. So the Niger Delta region feeds the nation. If you doubt it, if you say it's not true, if you say it's not true, then let's feed the nation with what your state is producing. Simple as that. And see if it will go around. So that's not the point of discourse here. The point here really is, in spite of the fact that we hold a very strategic position in the union, we also have over time played with our opportunities too. Because God has been kind to us and given us leaders too from our region. So we've got politicians from that region. I mean, I'm talking about essentially the 9 oil producing states and the pockets of other states here and there that also do the same. But most importantly, the 5 key or core Niger Delta states, which includes the likes of Akwa Ibom State, the likes of Rivers State, Delta State, Bayelsa State, and Ondo State. You can also maybe add a couple of other states like Edo, Imo, Abia, because of the quantity they also bring in. But these 5 core states I mentioned, we've had leaders from these areas, and they have been the ones who are culpable as far as the development of this region is concerned. They are more culpable than the federal government itself. What do I mean? Take for instance, we had a president that came from that region. I mean, this man sat in office for 6 solid years. 6 years. And in that period of time, you tell me one major project he completed in his region. Not one. Even the East-West Road he started, he didn't complete it 100%. It was at 70-something% completion when he left office. If you take a drive along the East-West Road, check out the Mbiama, axis, that area. Go see how bad the road is there. That region is, that area. On Tuesdays, you can't pass because the market even literally enters the road and all that, because the road is abandoned. That area is abandoned. Go to the Kayama side, and it just keeps going. Pockets. Look at the bridges along the road. Some of them half done, only this side done, this side abandoned. Nothing completed. So whilst we want to point fingers at the federal government, which we have a right to do because they are responsible to us, we also have a right to also point fingers at our own leaders too. We not leave them, to go scot-free, because they are also part of the problem. They are. So, like I'm saying, that's a man who took power for 6 years. Tell me what we achieved in 6 years. He tried doing an airport in that Amasoma region, that area, by one Chinese company. They call it CCECC, something like that. All they did was just sanfill the place. That's it. He didn't complete that project. What about the Sampo project, the Sampo airstrip? It's abandoned too. And with all those while we had politicians from that region in power, they couldn't complete one good project for us. You go to Yenagoa, look at the roads in Yenagoa. It's a shame. It's a shame. Yenagoa is not, you can't class it as a global city by any standard. Just look for yourself. I'm not from there, but I'm a full-blooded Niger Delta. Both parents, both ways. So it worries me, because who is at the receiving end? It's you, Niger Delta, and me, and our children that are coming up too. They are coming to meet this mess. If we don't do something quickly about it, if we don't hold our politicians culpable, we will pay the price. They won't. They have all carted away with good money that will last for 5, 6, 7 generations. They don't even care no more. But somebody has to care. That's why I'm doing this video, so that these elections that are coming and afterwards, you can hold people to ransom. Stop. See, the Nigerian youth has made a mess of himself. How can somebody give you 1,000 naira? 1,000? Are you that small? And for 1,000, you can do anything for a politician without engaging your faculties. How can somebody give you rice that you eat and then you pass it away in a couple of days' time? And that's it. For that reason, you're ready to die for a politician. Can't you even think? What is wrong with the Nigerian youth? If you didn't go to school, that is not an excuse for stupidity. Just because you didn't go to school, it's not an excuse. Somebody cheated you. The system is supposed to go round. The way it's designed by God, somehow everybody's supposed to benefit from the national cake. But the fact that you didn't get what you should get is because somebody somehow didn't let the circle go round properly. So I'm saying this because I just gave an example of a leader from that region. I love him. I've always sang his praises, so that you don't think that I'm doing this because I hate him. No, I love that man. He's one of the most, tolerant man Nigeria has ever known. You criticize him, he don't start fighting you like others are doing now. He leaves you to your opinion. As long as that's your opinion, that's it. He's got his good side, but on the other side, that's where he failed us in the Niger Delta. No completed project. So our problem has always been our own leaders more than anything else. Aside from the federal government's, issues from the federal government, our own leaders too. And we must start holding them culpable now. Enough is enough. Look at currently as I speak, we have a minister of transport from our region. Listen, I don't hold anything against that man. I love him. I've always had challenges trying to defend him before my friends. I love him. As a person, I love him. Because when he started as governor of Rivers State, criminals ran into hiding. He started well, but see how he's ending now. And nobody is telling him that he's on the wrong course. It has become a politics of egoistic display. I'm bigger than you. I will show you that I own this region. I will show you. You see? That's a man who started well. See how he's ending now. And I wonder where their wives are. I wonder the kind of men that are following them. Are these true men or yes men? Telling them, go ahead, you're doing the right thing. A man who started well, look at how he is ending. Fight, just my people versus your people. That's what it has come down to. Yet, who is suffering? Who's at the receiving end? The Niger Delta region. He's a minister for transport. Look at the waterways. Look at what Lagos State is making from the waterways. Every goods that comes into Nigeria comes through Lagos. Think and Apapa. Do you know the billions of naira that goes through Lagos State in taxes? What Lagos State gets in taxes alone? Why can't the Niger Delta governors take advantage of the coastal states, the coastal regions, the water lines, the ocean, the ocean? They can, I mean, this is in New York. You see the kind of ferry they have here from mainland New York into, Staten Island. You see ferries ferrying people to and fro, even for free. You don't pay for it. It's for free. But we're not saying do so for free. How much will it cost to acquire such a thing in the Niger Delta region? How much? If all the governors come together and reason like people who really know what they are doing in power, they'll be able to gather maybe 3-4 of that and run along the coastal states. That thing will carry goods and stuff. You don't need to bother the roads. Look at the amount of armed robberies going in the road because people know that goods coming from Lagos to the east. You know how many people have lost their lives because of that? Do you know how many goods, you see trailers tumbling over with carrying containers, tumbling over. People losing lives, goods damaged beyond what can be recorded on paper. Do you know the losses? Because why? The leaders from our region cannot think. They cannot think. So I'm saying this to explain that our leaders we need to either hold them to ransom now. This is the time. Or new leaders must emerge now who really have vision. It's not about going to the Senate and start stealing maize and running around. You think you're making a name? No. You are breaking a name. Because posterity will judge you one day. It's all on record. Don't forget. The next generation will judge you. And your names will be in the books, either for good or for evil. So whatever you're doing, just remember that your actions or inactions is affecting the Niger Delta region. These are governors who could come together. Akwa Ibom State governor, Rivers State, Delta. They are all connected by the coasts. And put good transportation, water transportation stuff to carry goods from Lagos down and spread it along this coast. You will spread prosperity by doing that. Put security, in place. Anyway, put naval checkpoints from, naval staff also escorting the ferries or something like that. And then income will be generated. Look at the Onne seaport, for instance. What is there if you dredge it so that ships can dock there? You know how much you will make? You know how much Rivers State will make? The governors don't think like that. They don't know what they call, corporate wealth creation. They don't think like that. Governors can form alliances, long-term alliances, and take a good chunk of that business from Lagos State into the Niger Delta region. Do we always have to wait for the federal government to give us? Why can't somebody think differently for once? Look at the losses. The Minister for Transport is just busy fighting in the states. That's all they do now. That's it. And opportunities are going again. Tomorrow we'll start crying marginalization. Whereas even the ministers, the government officials we've had, they are not even helping us. All we do is to cry ranka day, thank them for nothing. The youths are either on this side or on this side. That's what the youths are good at doing now. You fight for this party or you fight for this party. No future. And nobody thinks differently. We praise people we should be scolding. We praise people we should expose. The other day I had somebody from Akwa Ibom State telling me the former governor, he was a Mr. Project. He has built roads, built bridges. I say, shame on you. That's why you guys are everywhere, scattered everywhere in Nigeria. You are in other people's state, you are not in your state. The reason is simple. You had a governor that was having the highest allocation from the federal government. He did not build industries for you, where you could employ thousands of Akwa Ibomites. He was building roads that you cannot even drive in. Can you afford a car? The same roads he's building is for his own comfort. Don't forget, because he drives. The airport he built is for his comfort because you cannot buy aeroplane tickets. So once you are busy shouting, those projects, if you look very well, they are white elephant projects. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just being clear, crystal clear. You went to build a stadium. How many times in a year do we have competitions there? How many times in a year? That money, in my own thinking, that money can build, for instance, a cement manufacturing factory. Cross River State has deposits of limestone. So transporting limestone from Cross River to Akwa Ibom will not even be a problem because they are neighboring states. And even Akwa Ibom has its own deposits. Why not build a cement industry? You know how expensive cement is? Build a cement industry, you employ labor, and you make something out of it. You get good money coming in, and you employ a lot of people. Your people won't be scattered everywhere. So most Akwa Ibomites who are shouting, hey, our former governor was Mr. Project, you should have to rethink. I don't think you are thinking straight, because if you are, you will know that you've been cheated. If he had created industries, created big, massive farms and employed youth, created manufacturing industries, those things will outlive him. You think that those roads are going to last for how long? They will collapse. Another government will start again with his own road project, maybe different from the one this other man did. So that's why it looks like the Niger Delta is not making progress. So at the end of the day, what happens? The youth, in their frustration, they go about doing vices, kidnapping, robbery, and they are still the ones who will be shot dead. They are still the ones at the losing end. So I think the Niger Delta leaders have to be held responsible. It's time. It's time. It's not about shouting, hey, Mr. Project, Mrs. Project. It's more than that. How does that project improve your life? How? How? You see a governor starts a project. He gets to the end of his tenure and he leaves. The next governor should come and say, okay, this project is good. Maybe we'll add to it. Remove certain parts of it, but improve on it. Get thinkers, sit down, reason, and then look for a way to add value to that. No. What they rather do is condemn this one completely, throw it away, and start a fresh one. And then you are back again from where you started from. Why would the Niger Delta make progress? So I'm saying this because I think it's time the Niger Delta leaders are held responsible now. Enough of all these jokes. Where our kids are coming after us. They won't come and make the nonsense we made. We put up with a lot of rubbish. When I was in the university in Nigeria, a governor paid bursaries for the first time. We were happy. The money went a long way. All of a sudden, the governor stopped it after 2 payments. Stopped it. Why? He said people were stealing the money. So is it now the student's fault that his process has a problem? His process of money distribution is questionable. It's now the student's fault. So for that reason, he terminated it. So the students now have to suffer for his incompetence. And if you go to Delta State today, that is the same man that the people are giving accolades. They're raising him up as a hero. We forget so easily. We must wake up from this slumber. It's painful. It's painful. Because you know what? It's going to get worse. There are no indications or indicators that it will get better. As far as I can see, it's going to get worse. Do we have to wait till the Niger Delta becomes completely collapsed and dilapidated? Most of you who are listening to this video, you are more than 30. You have not even bought a land, not talk of build a house. Some of your fathers built a house before they became 40. It's not even come across your mind. You're going to university, you're doing that from your pocket. It's not supposed to be so. The government is supposed to give you support. If you come here in the US, it's compulsory. It's a thing of law. The government has to give you everything to encourage you to go to school. In spite of that, some of them don't even go. If you go to the United Kingdom, Only about 3% of the white population go to university. The rest are either Africans or Asians from their own pockets. So enough of this injustice. We have to call our leaders in the Niger Delta to reason. We have to hold them to ransom now. We have to. If we don't, we will be the tools in their hands for their chess game. That has to stop. So let this video go and share it, and let people listen to this with reason. Don't listen to it with bias. Don't say he's talking because he doesn't know. No, if you see I mention people across both political divides. But the truth is, let us hold culpability where culpability is. Once again, this is your fellow citizen, Ovie.